Raise your hand if you remember the Amazing Panda Adventure. I, I- you just raised your hand to a YouTube video. I just want to point that out. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com. I'm a blind film critic, so even if you were in front of me, I wouldn't have been able to see you raise your hand, you silly goose. This is The Legend of Ochi. So join me in my cult following here on YouTube by clicking like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. I where the critics say that they go into things blind, I literally go into things blind, which would be the reason to join me on my journey here. This is an A24 movie. It's animated. It's, it's eligible for your kids. I don't know that they'd be that interested in it, to be totally honest. Uh, A24 is A24, and this feels like A24. Uh, yeah, I brought up Amazing Panda Adventure because that was like one of the things that came to my mind when I was watching this movie. I was like, this is so basic. This is just like A24's version of things that have been done before, where um, there are two things. And true, we've had things like Gremlins, where they're like creatures that, like the Mogwai, where it's like, oh, we have to take care of this fictional creature that doesn't exist. Um, and then there are the other live action ones where it's some kid who's returning some animal to the wild. They're trying to save their pet, or this is that movie. So, um, there are a couple of voices in here that are worth mentioning. Willem Dafoe, sort of primarily, he plays this warmongery man who is bound and determined to kill all of the Ochi. He has like a backstory, and his daughter is the main character. And he talks a lot about how he lost his wife, and that's why he doesn't have a son. And obviously, that sucks for her to be a girl and that kind of thing. You'll pick up on those vibes. um, Finn Wolfhard is in this, and Emily Watson in sort of like less memorable roles. It's really about this girl, and at the beginning of the film, they kill like a adult Ochi, but then there's this like little baby Ochi that's like left, and it's like scampering away, and eventually the girl finds it, and they, I don't know, sort of become friends in a complicated way. And she realizes that she has to take the Ochi to a certain place so that the Ochi can be safe. So she sets out on this adventure with her new little blue friend. It's like a little blue monkey looking thing, I think. Kind of. That's a loose way of putting it. Could like a lemur or something. I don't know. Uh, and then her dad thinks like the Ochi kidnapped his kid, and yeah, he has to go off with the troops. Emily Watson plays this like weird woman they meet sort of in the woods. it's, it's a thankless role for an Oscar nominee. Uh, Actually, everybody in this movie is in a thankless role. This movie is okay. I seem very unenthused because it's a very unenthused movie. It does have very delightful audio description. I have to say, deluxe, beautiful. I love you. Very good stuff. Um, and it's just it's one of those films that that they're trying to do some sort of like lush fantasy-ish animation to it. I'm sure A24 is like trying to push they're celebrating animation that probably pushes the boundaries so it doesn't look so like traditional or crappy. I'm sure it doesn't look like hoodwinked or anything like that. So I have no idea what the film looks like in terms of its animation style and how good that is, but I have a feeling I always think about things like, well, it's the A24 version of animation. So I'm sure it's found a way to like reinvent animation in some possibly boring way. Uh yeah, it's all right. I kind of wanted more from it because I expect more out of A24, and that's the thing that A24 has kind of gotten themselves caught up in, is now they're releasing a lot of films, and they're starting to release a lot of like like a lot of Death of a Unicorn was so here we are again with another film. Like, I don't I didn't need this. It's not terrible. Um, so I've definitely seen worse animation this year. This is just borderline forgettable. What I did like is Willem Dafoe. I thought he did a lot with his performance, and I could actually hear him. Finn Wolfhard could have been anybody. His character just is so unimportant to the overall advancement of the plot. Emily Watson could have been anybody. And the girl mumbles a lot. She's poorly recorded. And I don't want to bash child actors. I don't know how old she is. Finn is not a minor anymore. So I feel she could be, I don't know. It doesn't sound like a little kid. It sounds like somebody who is at least old enough to have constructive criticism. But I also don't think it's her fault. I think this is where you get into direction. And if your direction is perfectly okay with her being like recorded at a level where it just sort of sounds like she's mumbling and hard to understand. What makes it worse is that so halfway halfway through the film, so the Ochi has these like sharp fangs and it hisses. And so she has these like when you were a kid, those like plastic vampire teeth. So she puts those in, and I'm already having a hard time understanding her. So then she puts those in, and there are times in the movie where she has that in and she's trying to say something. I'm like, oh my Jesus. Oh, you took somebody I already couldn't understand very well, and then you gave them those fake vampire teeth. It's I half the time I really didn't understand what she was saying. I truly did not understand what she was saying, and I don't understand the point. Because she's by far the lead character of the film. Everybody else, like her and Willem Dafoe, could have been the only two characters that ever spoke, and the film would be fine. Like you could have done Emily Watson's character as like some mute woman in the wild, and Finn Wolfhard's character really doesn't even need to exist. He's just sort of there. I don't. It's not that big of a role. Anyway, so Legend of Ochi, it has some stuff. I mean, it's drawing from things that have been successful before. It's drawing from like a subgenre of films about kids and animals that have been so successful in the past. There's so many films where a kid is trying to save an animal or free an animal. They're usually endangered. We've got like Free Willy, even that film counts. I mean, the kid spends the whole movie trying to help this fish get out of the tank. It's not the same as carrying, the 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 whale into the killer whale into the forest or whatever, but she's doing in this. But that's why I said Amazing Panda Adventure. It's a weird film for to come up in my brain, but that was the first film that came to my brain, and I was like, I think I've seen that movie once when I was a kid. It's not even a film that has stayed with me, but it's a film that I'm aware of. Alaska came to mind. Um, Obviously, like Cheetah, where like there are other films where kids are trying to rescue, save, set free, take back, like all those films. This is just that it's animated and it's A24, which means it's artistic. But is it? I don't know. It doesn't really have anything to say that's profound about environmentalism, about uh, uh, you know, the way we treat each other or the wild or anything else. Willem Dafoe's character sort of has this revelation at the end of the film, and I'm like, was that it? Is that the whole film? Why is this here? So, um, yeah, this feels disappointing. Um, I think Willem Dafoe elevates it. It's sort of in the middle for me. I could coin flip this and up or down. I did like the audio description. That was nice. But the audio description shouldn't be the best thing about the movie. Uh, but there's stuff that's described that I'm like, man, if they're pulling this off visually, either the audio description team is being very generous, or this film looks good at least. So it might be a very pretty movie. I like the score and the sound design. So, I mean, there are things to like here. But this is like right in the middle of sort of being like a coin toss movie for me. Yeah, I'm gonna give The Legend of Ochi a C. I think it has some charm, but it mostly gets lost along the way. And what A24 usually brings to a film, they don't quite bring to the film here. It just kind of gets roped into what is just happening with A24 now, where they're just overextending themselves. And the people who are obsessed with A24 as a brand are starting to realize A24 is just a distributor. And there's nothing that's that special about A24. So I think they're going to kill their own brand if they keep doing this, if they keep releasing films that are not really that artistically challenging, if we're being honest. Anyway, The Legend of Ochi. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did you like it? Am I wrong? Do you hate my face? Are the Ochis cute? Please tell me what you think about the Ochis. Are they cute? I think they're cute. They're probably cute. Anyway, I'm going to review something else, and I'll see you guys on the other side.